Today we are beginning our unit on nutrition and physical activity. With our first objective we have is NPA 1.1. We have a PowerPoint presentation and then you have a assignment to do afterwards. So I wanted to go ahead and go through the PowerPoint with you. Of course, this is the PowerPoint once again that goes with NPA 1.1. And this is proper nutrition and physical activity. This is like linking them together and them being the real lifesaver. According to the CDC, which is the Centers of Disease and Control and Prevention, you can reduce your risk of chronic diseases like cancer, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, things like high blood pressure. The list can go on by just making good nutrition choices and, of course, staying physically active. Overweight and obesity is influenced by physical inactivity, a poor diet, so making poor eating choices, and they are significantly associated with increasing your risk of things like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, asthma, even exercise-induced asthma, arthritis, and poor health status. Of course, statistics show that 13% of high school students are actually obese. And obesity and physical inactivity is, of course, linked to obesity and, of course, significantly increases your risk for dying prematurely, dying of heart disease, and developing diabetes, colon cancer, and, of course, high blood pressure. And, of course, people who are overweight or obese increase their risk for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, or arthritis-related disabilities, and, of course, some types of cancers. When you don't get enough exercise, so when you do not get adequate amounts, a lot of times it's associated with having to increase your medications because you've got to manage the high blood pressure, you have to manage the diabetes, and it's going to take medication because you're not exercising. And typically, someone who's overweight and not exercising is going to be in the hospital more. And of course, direct medical costs associated with physical inactivity is, of course, $76 billion in 2000. Of course, that number's a little old, but if you take that number to 2020, I guarantee you it's much higher already. Of course, 90 million Americans live with chronic diseases and illnesses. We have talked about chronic diseases and illnesses in our PCH unit, so you do know what they are. Chronic diseases account for 70% of all deaths in the United States. And of course, poor diet and physical activity lead to 300,000 deaths each year. And of course, this is only second to people using tobacco. Healthy eating is associated with reducing the risk of many diseases, reducing your chance of heart disease, reducing your chance of cancer and stroke. And of course, 8%, this is a survey done, of course this survey is kind of old, but it's done back in 2011. It says that 8% of high school students do not drink fruit juices or eat fruit during the 7 days of the week. 8% of high school students do not eat vegetables during the 7 days of the week before the survey. And of course, 14% admit to drinking a can, bottle, or glass of soda at least 3 or more times in a day in the 7 days before the survey. So here is information about the percentage of who ate 5 or more servings a day. Healthy healthy diets, of course, are lower in natural calories and, of course, in less saturated fats. Remember, saturated fats are the bad fats. They are the fats that are solid at room temperature. And, of course, they are lower in salt and meat. And, of course, people who eat lots of whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and low-fat dairy products, fish and poultry have less heart disease and cancer. And then, of course, this is a youth risk high school behavior survey. And, of course, as you can see, 15% of NC students did not participate in at least 60 minutes of activity a day. 74% admit to not attending PE classes on an average week when they were in school. Guys, this is the only required health and PE class that you take in 9th grade health and PE. So some of you will never take health and PE again. unless you sign up for advanced PE or weightlifting. And of course, 74% did not attend the PE classes, and then 35% watched television 3 or more hours a day, and then 28% used the computer for 3 or more hours a day on an average school day. Now, if we took these numbers now through COVID, I guarantee you the computer numbers would be up, the TV may be up, and even the number for not attending a PE class and being active for 60 minutes would be up, unfortunately. And of course, aerobic activity. When you do these most days of the week, so that's like cardio activity, it reduces your risk for all these things like obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and stroke. Physical activity also reduces your risk for some cancers. And of course, load-bearing exercises like walking, running, jogging, reduce your chance of osteoporosis and fractures later down the road, especially. And of course, walkers, and like I said, simply walking. Typically, you have fewer colds, less pneumonia and influenza because of the fact that you are keeping your body active and you are keeping your body moving. You are putting airflow through your lungs. And that is proven that also Alzheimer's disease may be slowed when people are active. It is recommended that, of course, that 30 minutes walking 5 days a week, 30 minutes of doing some sort of moderate activity has significant health benefits. So you want to get moving. You want to get moving now so that you have a healthy and active lifestyle throughout your life. And of course, as you can see, these are maps of the obesity trends. If you take it all the way back to 1990, which is 30 years ago, you can see that North Carolina was in the 10 to 14% range of obesity. But you look at the 2010, we're in the 25 to 29%. Now, if we had a 2020 map, I guarantee you we'd be in the over 30, and the numbers would be higher across our state and, of course, a lot across the country because obesity trends have basically been doubling every 10 years. So here's just a joke. Are you kidding me? There's a guy walking his dog by driving his car. So we can't get any lazier than that. You want to get active and you want to get moving. And of course, just some wise words to follow. The function of protecting and developing health must rank above even restoring it when it is repaired. Of course, that is the PowerPoint for the content. You also need to read through this content page on Canvas so that you get this information as well. And then the last thing you need to do today, once you review this video and review this content, is to go to your modules and open up the NPA 1.1 quiz and take the 1.1 quiz as your assignment today. Of course, go ahead and do it today, but you do have until Sunday night at midnight to get it done. Of course, once you do that, you will be finished for the day.